World Crisis Radio. Now we've got to keep moving here to catch up with these events. So we're ready for what may happen. First of all, this entire Bin Laden story, completely manufactured. I don't have time or interest to engage in literary criticism of the quality of fiction writing and creative writing of this sort. The basic idea is that Obama has been, the basic fact is that Bin Laden has been dead since the year 2001, 2002, probably died of kidney failure. Since then, we've had a series of doubles. These doubles do a number of things. They issue audio and videotapes. Those are usually dictated in terms of content and timing by the needs of the U.S. British intelligence communities. For example, one in October 2004, issued by Bin Laden, was very helpful in getting Bush reelected when that was not at all a certainty. The one that I always found funniest was the October 2007 one, which showed a Bin Laden with a very dark beard. It looked like he dyed his beard. In the coloring, generally, the eyebrows that he had, he looked a little bit like Groucho Marx. So that was obviously a different double. In other words, it's a parade of people who don't look the same. We've had thin ones, fat ones. We've had the Osama the Gaunt, Osama the Stout, the Angry, the Brillial, whatever it is. However, there's also a function going on that's a little bit deeper. There are dupes, fanatics, psychotics, patsies all around the world, a whole patsy network and patsy milieu who are susceptible to being told what to do by this pseudo-Bin Laden sitting there. So they've got to keep him operating. So he gets messages from Chinese Turkestan or from Chechnya or other parts of the world. What should we do? And, of course, he responds according to the lines dictated by U.S. and British intelligence. If they're in China, of course, it's oppose the government there. If it's Russia, it's give Putin a hard time, and so forth. If you're in Saudi Arabia, well, Bandar is really the bad guy. If you're in Libya, it's Gaddafi that you want to be concerned about, and on and on. So it's a way of deploying these dupes and patsies, again, this network of psychotics, fanatics, misfits, mercenaries too, double agents, of course. Some of them know that they're talking to a fake figure, but you get the idea. So that has now been liquidated. Now, after hundreds of billions of dollars, they didn't do this because the idea is to get Obama reelected. Anybody who starts analyzing these events in terms of the short-term to medium-term political needs of Obama is crazy and has learned absolutely nothing. You're not dealing with presidents here who run administrations. You're dealing with a rogue network. You're dealing with an invisible government, a deep state, parallel government, secret government. This has been around since, in the current form, since about 1895 and has consolidated itself, somewhat broken up by Franklin D. Roosevelt, but back in place emphatically after the Kennedy assassination. And they don't do it for the humanitarian desire to help Obama. This is strategic desperation. The reason for this is what I've told you. It is geopolitics. It is you have an empire and you have countries that are trying to get out from under the empire. The jailbreak is on. Countries are trying to bolt from the Anglo-American empire. Right now, the main focus I think that they're most worried about is the Pakistan-Saudi Arabian alliance. That's the target. Prince Bandar, after having set up his deals with Putin in Russia in 2007, 2008, 2009, Bandar now going in March of this year to Pakistan, getting a commitment for Pakistani divisions to put down a color revolution in Saudi Arabia, if that happens, and indeed in the transitional period to have the Pakistani nuclear umbrella, and Pakistan just tested a 350-kilometer cruise missile this past week, the Pakistani nuclear umbrella now extended to Saudi Arabia, with the hope by Bandar that they would get then Chinese missiles with Pakistani nuclear weapons so that they would have their own independent guaranteed national deterrence so that the United States could not say to the Saudis, do what we say or we will feed you to Iran. I can remember in Germany during the Cold War, the U.S. would say to Germany, do what we say or we feed you to the Soviets. We'll sell Berlin to Russia. Well, nothing has changed, the predicates, but the method is the same. So the target is Pakistan, and the goal is to smash up this attempt to have an alliance between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. And, of course, the longer-term goal is to partition Pakistan, Sindh, Punjab, Pashtunistan, Baluchistan. Main goal, no energy corridor, no development of the port of Gwadar, no pipeline from Iran into China going through Pakistan, no pipeline from the port of Gwadar also going up and into China. Now, for most people, this is peaceful economic development. It's the alternative to war from any sane point of view, right? Economic development is how you get away from war, but not from the point of view of the crackpot U.S.-British elite. Now, the crisis between the United States and Pakistan, therefore, takes center stage. It is shocking to know that the U.S. has unleashed predator drones once again over Pakistan on Thursday, killing 12 people. And, of course, who were they? Well, of course, they're supposedly terrorists. The U.S. does this. They deliberately target civilians in order to goad the various ethnic groups in Pakistan, the Pashtuns in particular, into a rebellion against the Islamabad government. Because the average Pashtun, as I understand it, looks at Islamabad and said, that is run by those Punjabis and those Sinds, not by us. Baluchistan sees it more or less the same way. Look for lots and lots of predator drone strikes in Baluchistan and in Pashtunistan to goad these people into a frenzy of rebellion, and that is the goal. So the Pakistani military should be demanding and enforcing a complete halt on all of these predator drone strikes. We do have a tremendously rapidly escalating tension here. There are today, Friday prayers in Pakistan, lots and lots of protests. We have the Jamaat Islami out in force protesting the interference, the raids, the violation of sovereignty, and this constant policy of predator drones. The Pakistani rhetoric has escalated, essentially because this Patsy double operation was found in the city of Abbottabad, near the military academy, of course. Well, that shows that Pakistan was complicit, doesn't it? Well, of course, the U.S. and Pakistan have been jointly running this Patsy double operation, trying to, again, use Obama to issue tapes that the U.S. wants, and also to issue these instructions to various Patsies and psychotics and fanatics around the world who might believe it, to try to maintain control of the Patsy milieu, as I describe in 9/11 synthetic terror made in USA. So the Pakistani Foreign Secretary Bashir says this is a basic miscalculation. It is a wrong hypothesis. That was a couple of days ago. More recently, Pakistan has warned of disastrous consequences if the U.S. insists on violating sovereignty with these unauthorized, uncoordinated cross-border raids. General Kayani, the head of the Pakistani military, there must be no repeat of the unauthorized raids. Otherwise, the whole military cooperation between the U.S. and Pakistan will be called into question. So you get the idea. This is now escalating towards some kind of a break, and the U.S. can heat it up anytime with more predator drones. Back in a minute.